what is what, drop below so that way we know what we should spend a little bit more time on. So that being said, Dwayne, can you first tell us, and we've had so many conversations about cryptocurrency. So what you think that through your research, I should say, you believe that cryptos are the future. It's like the future currency. So why do you think that? Because some people may think like, no, that's not the case. And actually, we have Valencia. She says that I've been studying for a moment. Let's put it up on the screen so we can see it a little bit better. I've been studying in for a moment, and I just brought my first Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I am a neophyte for sure in this area. Okay, so we're actually going to talk, we can probably talk a little about Ethereum, like what is that, and also what is a Bitcoin. But first, starting out, why do you think cryptos are the future?
I think cryptos are the future for a number of key reasons. One, we are entering into a fully digital age. What I mean by that is our entire lives are going to be dictated by the data in terms of data collection. Take a look at what we have in our homes. We have smart TVs, smart appliances, smart thermometers, so on and so forth. Most of us carry smartphones. So these are just examples of where our society is going. I'm pretty sure many of you have heard talks about self-driving autonomous cars that are going to be coming out at this point, mainly through Tesla. But as we go forward in this digital age, you'll see other companies jumping into the space as well. I'm pretty sure many of you are familiar with AI. When you reach out for customer service, many times you're not talking to a real live person, at least in the beginning of the process, you're actually dealing with AI. So I just want to lay out the groundwork that we are entering into a fully digital age. Automation is here. Many blue collar and in certain cases, white collar jobs are either being replaced or supplemented by technology, including AI. So I think if we take a look at cryptocurrencies from that viewpoint, then it's naturally going to be a part of that new foundation and that new way of living.
Right. So true. And when you say, and Valencia says we have self-driving cars, here already has taxis. They're called, oh, wow. So, yeah. So we're already kind of see this shift that's happening within our society. I did want to say, when you mentioned we're becoming like this digital world, and we probably have heard, you guys have probably heard of digital age and those type, and then the AI that you've seen, and also what I'm going towards what you said about collecting data. Like even when we look at Facebook, YouTube, when you have when you go to a certain website, and I think it pops up like cookies or something, and then in either to engage in that website, many times you have to accept, and that's all collecting data about websites that you go to. So this system, I guess you could say, that we're in is constantly collecting data about us. But the only thing it's collecting some data about how we spend our money. But I think with the cryptos, it takes it to another level. Would you agree with that?
And I think that's a great segue into the other part of why I think cryptos are the future. I think from the research that I've done about our monetary system, how our system really functions, one fundamental truth that I've really come to believe from the research that I've done is that everything is planned. And what I'm describing to you in terms of what's known as the digital age, the people who have laid this out, the movers and shakers, the Elon Musk, the Jeff Bezos, the politicians, presidents, prime ministers, the people that collectively work to decide how the future of our society is going to look like, they've coined a term for the future that we're going to be living in. And this term is called the fourth industrial revolution. So I would strongly recommend all of you to look more into that so you can help. It'll help you to connect more of the dots I'll be walking you through today. This is not a theory. This is a fact. Our elites, the people who essentially run our society and run our paradigm, have planned this out. And it's called the fourth industrial revolution. And as a part of their plan, and Kai hit the head on it, unfortunately, what they have planned for us is a system that has no privacy. And this is where the yin and the yang, the good and the bad of cryptocurrencies comes into. Because in the current system we live in, we have physical cash, which means that you go to your ATM, withdraw that money, and you can spend that money anywhere. But the powers that be, the IRS, the people that want to collect your data, understand your speak, spending habits, then be able to sell that information and also put ads on your smartphones and your smart TVs, et cetera, can't keep track of all that.
Right.
So cryptocurrencies are also going to be a key part of the fourth industrial revolution, which unfortunately for us means we will have no privacy. But there's also a good side to cryptocurrencies that I will be going into as well.
Yes. And so with that being said, when cryptocurrencies, and you guys let me know if you agree, sometimes just the amount of information that you may hear about it in the news cycle, it can feel overwhelming. And it also could feel that you may feel like, I don't know, maybe this is something I should invest in. Maybe it shouldn't, because it seems, you probably heard like the cryptocurrency market is very volatile. Or one minute you see that Bitcoin, let's talk about Bitcoin in particular. Oh, Bitcoin is like on the move, right? Bitcoin is soaring. And then the next thing you hear about a crash. So for those that are not familiar with it, they may think, why do I want to invest my money into something that's so volatile and it's not regulated? So kind of with that being what's kind of, right? So we have Wellness Life says very overwhelming. It is, because you kind of don't know, like, is this a worthy investment? So with all that being said, Dwayne, you still think that cryptos are the future, but through your research, that's what, as you said, has helped led you to that belief. But what else have you seen through your research that's like, even though it's volatile, this is something that could be worthy of investment?
Like I said, that's an excellent question. And the funny thing is, I used to think like that. There was a person that was very close to me who was recommending me to get into Bitcoin for a number of years. I'm not going to mention her name, but I think you can figure it out, who she is. But at the time, I thought it was a scam, because I was just like, wait a minute, what is this? How I would hear about it would be through these random news reports or things I would see in YouTube. But again, it was me studying the system that we currently have and what is planned for our future that actually caused me to realize that cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin, are legitimate and will be an important part of our future lives. Now, let me set the stage, because again, I'm going to keep going back to this theory that I believe that everything is planned. Cryptos are short for cryptology. And what is cryptology? Cryptology is the ability to communicate data and information in a way where your adversaries cannot crack the code to access that information. So cryptology and people who operate in that field typically can be found in the military and also intelligence services. So I just want to lay out the background. And this is my personal opinion based on the research that I've done. There's this whole story around this guy named Satoshi Nakamoto, who wrote this white paper, who developed Bitcoin to make the humanity free. I'm not buying that. And the reason why I'm not buying that is because if you understand what cryptology is, you'll understand those people who understand cryptology and operate in the field are directly connected to government. So for me personally, I believe that Bitcoin was developed by a government. I don't know which one it is, but it was developed as a means to help to get us into this new digital age. And the reason why I say that is that another thing that people need to recognize is that the old currency, paper currency, credit cards, all of that is dying. And if you need the proof to understand what I'm saying, just take a look at your grocery bill, take a look at your gas prices, and most importantly, take a look at how expensive housing has become. And the reason why all these things are happening is because the US and many other governments have been printing currency, a lot of their currency, over the last year to 2 years. Matter of fact, all of the paper currency, US currency that's in circulation, 40% of it was printed in the last year.
Wow.
And just like with any other thing, the more you have of something, the less value it would have. And I think, and again, this is just the research that I've done and me connecting the dots. This is a part of the plan to push us into this digital currency where people are going to lose faith in the printed currency. They're going to lose faith in credit cards and all the things that we do now. But this is all a part of that larger push to get us into the digital age. I firmly believe from the research that I've done that the long-term goal is for all of us to basically have our lives through our smartphones, which will have our cryptocurrency wallet, we'll have our digital IDs. Our entire lives are going to be connected through our smartphones, tablets, so on and so forth. So Bitcoin was originally developed as that building block to start pushing us there. Now, to answer the other part of your question about the volatility, yes, Bitcoin is volatile. Yes, the crypto market is volatile, but that is something you will always see in any new market. Any new market. I firmly believe that it's in the best interest of any American, any citizen actually in this world to have a small amount of Bitcoin, however you can afford it. Because if you take a look at the last 10 years, the value of Bitcoin has gone from less than a penny to approximately right now, I think it's around 63,000. And if you understand, there's an inverse relationship between Bitcoin and the US dollar, which means as the dollar's buying